Welcome back to Chaotic Crafting. This is Kim Deason, and thanks for joining my channel. So I was wanting to do something a little different today. I have this new Jane Davenport journal that has not been arted in yet. So I thought I might just take a little minute or two and do something that's, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to do, but I am literally on my couch with the cover in my lap and my paint towel full of stuff because I put way too much water on here and then had to mop it all up. But anyway, I wanted to just have some color in the background because I want to play around a little bit with doing some stencils. And so I wanted the stencils to be black, and so I wanted the background to have like some color interest in it. I don't know if this is going to work. I can't quite figure out. Like, we're going to be using black with it. This is an acrylic paint that I've got. I am working on a silicone mat, so I'm just going to put a little paint up here on my mat and grab a stencil that I'll. Oh, this is one of my favorite stencils. I've had it for a while. It's kind of like a cute little border, like necklace stencil. So I may just start this page off by putting this all along the top and then figuring out what I want to do from there. So the key to a good stencil, and I haven't done one in a while, but it's picking up your sponge, like rubbing off as a lot of the paint that you can rub off. And of course, just sort of pouncing onto that stencil, so you're not getting a whole lot of paint pushed under the stencil. It's just going right through it. I am not one to immediately go clean off my stencils, but I will just sort of wipe it and make sure that none of the small details have any acrylic paint like coated up on them. But a little bit of layer, this is not going to hurt the stencil at all, the quality of the stencil. So I'm not gonna rush to dry that or wash that off. I have a couple of Jane Davenport face stencils. I'm just gonna see. That's a fun one. See what I want to do. I think I'm leaning toward her. I'm gonna go for her for now. I have this watercolor palette that kind of transparent, so I'm not real sure how it's going to work out on top of this acrylic, but that's why I wanted to practice and see what it does. It says she has a little bit of gold in her hair. I'm gonna try this. It's Ancient Pages, but it's a fairly decent flesh color if it's not all dried up. Now, even though I'm going acrylic over watercolor, and acrylic is opaque, watercolor is going to be sort of reactivated when I paint over it because acrylic is wet, and the watercolor doesn't care if it's wet because it's acrylic paint or if it's wet because it's water. It's gonna probably re-bloom a little bit and mix in with this color, and I'm gonna see some of that blue underneath it. It was just something that once I put this first acrylic coat down on, and then I can blow build up some layers and get it opaque in the end. But it's, I don't really mind a little bit of that blue coming out, staying in the face. I'm okay if we go just a little bit avatarish. So I'm not gonna stress about it. You know what? I think I'm gonna point up the ears a little bit. Give her a little elfish quality, fairy quality. Especially since she's gonna have a little bit of this blue-greenish tone coming out in her skin. Let's just go ahead and make her magical hair elf fairy or something. This is a layer cake color wheel, which is sort of like a watercolor gouache, I guess what you call it, but sort of like a mix between acrylic and gouache at the same time. I just decided, I mean, if we're gonna have a little fairy, then maybe there's like a little wing coming off back here. Look how pretty those wings are. You can't really see it, but they are shimmering. Oh, it's all fancy. She's one of those fancy fairies. Real fancy fairy with the fancy wings. I like that. Oh no. I dropped some water on her head. I'm dropping water everywhere, slinging it. That might be fun though. Just why don't I just go with it and instead of making it look like an accident. Just rub it all over the place and then sop it up. Get us a little bit of dew droplets. And nobody needs to know, that's just to cover up our mistake of dripping water on the canvas. We didn't want to do that, but no harm, no foul. So now it just blends in a little better because there's more than one. Right, I'm gonna have to let this dry completely. There's still some wetness on it because I think I'm gonna go over that with some colored pencils and see if I can savage this face a little bit. Okay, I've literally not used these before, but I've been wanting to. They're Stabilo. I love a Stabilo all pencil because it is water soluble. These are supposed to be like chalk-like pastel pens, and I just want to try this on maybe bringing out a little bit better definition on her face. to admit, kind of hating the hair. Just gonna see if I can. Let's call this one done for the day. I wouldn't mind doing a little really light gray around the wings to show like a shadow effect maybe. And maybe a darker, bolder outline around the outside of the wings. And I definitely want to do something with that hair. I don't think I'm making it any better, so a little of what I always try to do. What even is today's date? I think it's like maybe the 28th. Very fantasy. How about that? Don't love it, but I don't hate it. And that's usually where I always wind up at the end of the painting session. But I would love, let me look one more time. Ooh, so I did find kind of a grayish, I think it's grayish, let me look. This is what, I think it might be a good color for putting a little 3D halo around the wings. It's not quite dark enough. I wonder if I can mix that with a little bit of that leftover acrylic black I had. I'm really just trying to make a little bit of a shadow effect. And I'm perfectly okay if it's extremely subtle, because that's what I'm going for. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna do just a little bit of that back here too. All right, I know me. I've got to stop. I'm just going to keep making it worse. So I'm going to, like I said, call this one done. Just scoot out a little bit so you can see all of it. And I'm just going to lift it a little bit so hopefully you'll see some of the shimmer in that iridescent watercolor and the gold in her hair. So she's kind of cute. We'll take it. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching on Chaotic Crafting. Bye.